Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I first saw this look on Rihanna's face for a start, and I saw it on the cover of Arib Vogue. Now I was shook for the gods. Here is the picture. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Are you joking? Are you joking? Are you joking? And I even did my research. So the makeup artist who did this look on Rihanna is called... Now don't kill me if I got this wrong, but I believe it is Illimasqua French. And the skill is just so real. So I thought I would try my hand at recreating it. A lot of things were quite interesting about this. For example, I didn't have an eyeshadow that was correct for the job, so I basically had to make my own. But we'll get into that in a minute when you watch the tutorial. I am just obsessed with it. It is smoked out. It is, it's extra. It's definitely extra. Then I am as extra as they come. It's definitely something that made me a bit nervous trying to recreate a look on such an iconic woman. Rihanna is everything. Can we just... And I do have to say, I think the majority of the products used on set were possibly from Fenty Beauty anyway, but I'm not too sure. I don't have too much Fenty Beauty. I was actually part of the team at Sephora when we launched Fenty, so we did get a few things here and there, but I think the whole rush of the whole madness of it all just put me off. But I'm obsessed with this, and if you would love to see how I created it and try it with me, then yeah, keep on watching. Right, okay guys, so for the sake of quickness, I've already done one brow and one eye. Sadly, I wasn't able to do this whole look with one palette. Quite the opposite, I had to use about three. I just didn't have one palette which was suitable to create this whole look, which makes me think I might need to go shopping. The eyeshadow palettes that I used to create this look are, for the warm tones I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance. For the black, and I actually don't have a good black shadow that isn't in this palette, for the black I used the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani collaboration palette. Probably the best black eyeshadow on the market. Now for the blue, we had a bit of a struggle. I go to look for a shimmery metallic blue shadow and I don't have one. I used this blue here from the Smashbox palette, which is called Poolside. And to turn that into the metallic shadow, which I think is a really good tip, I used this Inglot loose powder highlighter. Now I'm thinking you could probably put that on top of any matte shadow and make it a metallic. So I'm just going to recreate what I've done over here. Let's get into it. Rihanna's brows on the magazine are done, but they're not done. So we're going to fill them in and just make them really full but also really fluffy at the same time. The product I'm using for this is Benefit's Precisely My Brow Pencil, and this is the shade 4. Once we get to the front of the brow, I am just going to push some product upwards. Using the other side of the pencil, I'm just brushing through that product. Then I'm going to jump into my favourite brow gel, which is Gimme Brow by Benefit, and just focus that at the front, mainly, to get that bush going. Front. Ooh! Ah! F***'s sake. Now I use a concealer for my eyeshadow base, so today I'm just going to go in with Boing Airbrush Concealer by Benefit Cosmetics in the shade number 1. I'm just using a flat synthetic brush and I'm just getting this all over my lid. Now something super important about this is that you want to place your concealer or your eyeshadow base anywhere where the shadow is going to go. Because the shadow we're going to smoke out quite a lot, you want to bring your concealer or your eyeshadow base all the way along. You also want to bring it a little bit underneath the eye too. Blending that out with my booty blender. Always wanted to say that. To set that, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Fenty Beauty's translucent powder. Then taking your biggest, fluffiest eyeshadow brush that you have. This one has no brand, that's awkward. I'm going to be dipping into Burnt Orange in the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. But if you don't have this palette, you could use literally a light bronzer or a light orange. Nothing too deep or rich in colour, just a warm tone orange shade vibes, you get me. I'm going to focus that in my crease, but when I get to the outer V, this is your outer V by the way, this bit here is your outer V. When you get to the outer V, I'm not going to be bringing it down like I would for a normal shadow, I'm going to be bringing it out. Everything is super smoked out and snatched. Then you can use the same brush, but I like to use one that's a little bit smaller. This one is perfect. This is the 221 by Zoeva. I'm just going to be dipping into Real Gar. You do not want to use too much of this. You just want to put it a little bit below where you put that first shade. So without blending, that's where you want to put your deeper, darker orange colour. Now we're going back to that first brush we used, and I'm just going to blend that out. Like that. How heaven. You could just do that with a lash, that would be beautiful. Next thing I'm going to do is get my 221 by Zoeva and I'm going to jump into this shade. This shade is Cypress Umber. It's like a really, really dark brown and it's super pigmented. So when I tell you be careful, just be careful. I'm going to just be placing that product on the outer half of the lid with a little bit of real gar on the brush. I'm just going to blend it out. And I want to bring it a little bit higher too. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is add our blue. So for this, I'm going to be using another brush, which I don't actually know where it's from. Again, it's just a flat synthetic brush, really. I'm going to be dipping into that blue shade from our Smashbox palette. Now, you'll find what you have to do with this look a lot is go back and forward. So you'll add the blue, then you'll have to go back and add more warmth, and then you'll have to go back and add more blue. Yeah, for this look, you really have to whack, 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 whack. Now you really want to put this blue all over your eyelid and a little bit higher as well. You're then going to go back to that 221 by Zoeva and just try and blend out your edges a little bit. You have to bring the blue up pretty high. I would normally bring my, bright colours up to where my crease is, but with this look you really have to bring that blue even higher. What I'm going to do now is go into a little bit of black. Oh! Again, I'm just going to place this on the outer V. Now I'm going to be adding a little bit more concealer to the bottom lash line just to prep for more shadow. Blend that out with your finger. So the first colour I'm going to be going in with is that first colour that we used, Burnt Orange by Anastasia. Does everyone else make really ugly faces when you're doing your bottom lash line? Like, that's me. Now I'm going to take this black eyeliner pencil by Kiko and I'm just going to put that in my waterline. Now taking a little bit more black by Urban Decay, I'm just going to set that cream pencil with a black eyeshadow and also bring it down a little bit. So our camera cut off for just a few minutes. Beginner problems. Literally we've done nothing though. I put that black underneath the waterline, which you just saw. I then buffed that out with a little bit of the blue and a little bit of the orange. As I said, this looks really messy. Make up your own rules. You did, however, miss a little bit of my favourite part, which is adding the highlighter. I just got a loose highlighter by Inglot, and what I've done is I put a really light layer all over the blue. This just really takes it from now to wow. Shout out to anybody who has worked for Benefit Cosmetics at any point in their life and has this cheesiness like just stuck inside them. But for a little bit added oomph, what you're going to do is dip back into the highlighter. Now this is so pigmented, you really have to be careful. Only add extra where you want it to really look 3D. So I want that to be the middle of my lid and my inner corner. I am living. Okay, time for a little bit of mascara. I'm going to be going in with Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. And the lashes that I'm going to be using today are slowly becoming my new favourites. They are by Eldora. They are a brand based out of the UK and these are the M106. These are just everything. Alright guys, so that's the eyes done. I'm living, but it's hard to picture it without any base on. So now we're going to move on to skin. Now in the picture, Rihanna definitely has a matte skin. So whenever I'm doing a matte look, I really need to moisturise my skin. I am combination dry, so that means I have an oily T-zone, but I have quite dry cheeks. I obviously have a little bit of acne scarring, but my skin's really weird. Sometimes it's so clear and other days it's really not. Plus with all these lights, girl. But if I'm doing a matte skin, I always make sure I intensely moisturise before putting it on. So I'm going to be using this Origins Drink Up Overnight Intensive. It's actually an overnight mask for hydration, but girl, we need it. It's the best hydrating cream, mask, anything that I have ever used. For foundation today, I'm going to be going in with this beauty, which I've only recently just picked up for my kit. I picked up a few shades. And this is the Illimasqua Skin Base Foundation. It's not too shiny a finish, but it's not too matte either. It's just like skin. I'm applying that with a 102 Silk Finish Zoeva foundation brush. Okay, not too matte, not too oily, but we'll get there. Then taking my concealer, which is the MAC Pro Longwear, focus this product underneath my eyes. Also going to put this concealer on my cupid's bow, tip of my nose, and my forehead. Now taking a damp beauty blender or beauty sponge or anything you really want, as long as it's nice and soft, you're going to just lightly dab all over the whole face, blending that concealer with your foundation. I swear by this thing, this has been like really used. I have my contour colour here, my bronzer colour here, plus an under eye setter if I need one, so this is heaven. Just taking a little bit of this paler shade down here, I'm just going to quickly set under my eyes. I'm also going to set the middle of my forehead because I do get creasing here. It happens every single time no matter what I use, but this will just prevent it from creasing as fast. Now in the picture it doesn't look like Rihanna's got too much bronzer all over the face, but her cheeks are definitely chiseled out for the gods. Again, I'm just going to keep with the same palette as Kat Von D shade I like, and I'm going to use the middle colour. Starting from the top of my ear and bringing it down towards my lips. I'm not being too careful like I would with a contour colour. I'm just giving myself some sun. Sometimes I wish I was from Barbados, but I don't think I could deal with the heat. The heat's just not for me. Mind you, this Scottish cold weather isn't for me either. Oh, not a problem. Shout out to Michael Finch. And keep in mind, we've not set the skin with any powder foundations or translucent powders, but bronzer is a powder. I think a lot of people forget that. Your bronzer is also setting your skin. Sometimes it is nice to have a powder down first before bronzer, because some bronzers can go a bit patchy, but I've never really had a problem with this one. Now taking a smaller brush, this is the Luxe highlight brush. I'm going to dip into this colour here. This colour is a lot more contour friendly because it's not as warm, so it's going to look more like a shadow, not like a suntan. I'm just going to focus that right in there. Now we all know Rihanna's got an absolutely massive forehead, and I'm obsessed with every single inch of it. I don't really contour my head to reduce the size of my forehead. It's more like, I feel like it helps the receding hairline. I mean, I don't think it does, but I mean, why not? So next step is a little bit of blusher. Now the blusher, let me see. Yeah, the blusher in the picture isn't like a bright pink, it's not like a brown either, it's kind of in the middle, so I think I have something perfect. I'm going to try and achieve the same effect with MAC's Eversun Blusher? And the colour is beautiful, it's kind of like it's a mixture of a bronze and a pink, mauvey pink meets orange meets whatever. And I'm also going to bring it all the way up on top of the contour. I'm also going to contour this double chin within an inch of its life. One way to do that is something like this. You can look bougie as you do it, or do this. That way you can see where it is. And I always bring a little bit of contour down the sides of the nose. A general 1-2. So what I'm going to do is grab my Laura Mercier translucent powder. You can use Kat Von D's translucent, you can use Maybelline, Rimmel, London, I don't know. Just make sure it's a translucent powder and try and make sure it's not too white. So I'm just using this sponge that I got from, I believe it's by the brand Model Rock. Now what that's going to do is kind of just bake the area, and then when you wipe that powder away you will be left with a little tint of lightness on your jawline, and that'll just contrast with the contour really nicely. You see? So now it's time for highlighter. Again, I see only fitting that we use Miss Fenty Beauty for this. This one is the Killawat highlighter in the shade Mean Money and Hustler Baby. This is my favourite one. I mean, even though you can't really see Rihanna's highlight on the front cover, I'm sure when I looked at another picture when she was a bit more face on, you could see a little bit of something. One of the last steps I'm going to be doing is actually going back in with a little bit of the burnt orange shade from the Anastasia palette and just buffing that under to really blend it with the concealer that we've just added. And the final step in this look is lips. Now if you look at the picture of Rihanna, the lips like really confuse me, because they're kind of pink, but you can tell they're very metallic. So I think what I'm going to do is use a lip liner and then that same highlighter we used on the eyes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this Liar lip liner by Urban Decay, which is an amazing colour, it's one of my favourites. Shout out to Alana who gave me her leftover midget, really cute. Of course I'm overlining my lips. Blend that in. Now I'm going to take this a little bit of gloss by the brand Kiko and just put it in the centre. You only want a tiny bit of that. Now I'm going to take that little bit of Inglot highlighter and place that in the centre of my lips and then blend out. I think we're done. Did you enjoy that? I'm living. I'm definitely living. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's my first time actually doing a tutorial as such with a full face. Well, I only did one eye and one brow, but chill out. Shout out to the artist who created this look, shout out to Rihanna, and shout out to Vogue. So really quickly, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you actually enjoyed this video, then you could click that like button, I'd absolutely love that. If you really like this video and you like me, and you want to make sure you can see all my future videos, then do me a favour and subscribe to this channel, that would be incredible. Also, if you're a big Rihanna fan, shout out the Rihanna Navy, hey! If you want to share this video on all your social media platforms, that would be really cool too, but yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. Please let me know what type of videos you like to watch on YouTube. You don't have to say hi, hello, or I love you, or goodbye. Just say, I want this type of video. That would be really, really cool for me, and it helps me out, because I don't know what you want. And yeah, until next time, I was trying to figure out like a little goodbye thing, because it is really good if you know what's coming at the end of every video, like a sign off. I was in the car with my good friend Nikki, and I said to her something about snatched, or she was laughing because in my last video I said snatch that face. So I said, yeah honey, you've got to stay snatched, and she said stay snatched, and I said stay snatched, and I said oh my god. So until next time, stay snatched. I love you all. Goodbye.